The rifle barked like a thunderclap across the Texas Badlands, and Luke Harlan dropped behind a jagged rock as bullets whizzed past his ear, kicking up red dust. Blood trickled from a graze on his forehead, mixing with the sweat and grit of the Lone Star heat. His horse was sprawled, lifeless 20 yards back, riddled with holes from the ambush. Rex Dalton's gravelly voice boomed off the canyon walls. "Come on out, Harlan. You gunned down my brother now. It's payback time." Luke checked his revolver. 5 rounds left. 7 riders closing in like coyotes under the merciless sun. The nearest shelter was Rattlesnake Springs, half a mile of exposed scrub where only a fool would make a run. But Luke had quit being cautious the day he pinned on that ranger badge. The day he learned some sins chased you straight into the grave. He bolted from cover, legs pumping as shots erupted behind him like fireworks. Up ahead, a thin plume of smoke rose from a weathered outpost. A woman emerged on the porch, hands shielding her eyes from the glare. Her blonde hair gleamed like wheat in the afternoon light. What would she do when trouble rode right up to her doorstep? Would you stake your life on a stranger haunted by his demons? Luke hit the dirt hard, tumoring behind a trough as slugs splintered the wooden rails. The blonde woman didn't flinch, just stood there eyeing him like he was yesterday's news. "You bringing that mess here? Or just passing through?" she called, cool as a saloon beer. "Both, ma'am," Luke gasped, clutching his side where a fresh wound seeped. "I'd owe you big." "Emily Vance," she said, stepping down with a sway that turned heads in any town. "And I know your face, Luke Harlan. $300 bounty makes a man hard to forget." She wore a faded green dress that clung in the heat, her blue eyes sizing him up like a poker hand. Dalton's shout echoed. "We know he's in there. Hand him over, lady, or we'll torch the place." Emily's mouth twitched into a smirk. "Mr. Harlan, can you handle a gun?" "Yes, ma'am." "Can you end a man?" The words hung heavy in the air. Luke met her stare. "When it counts." She nodded toward the cabin. "Then let's get you fixed up unless you fancy dying in my yard." Inside, the air was thick with coffee and oil. Emily moved like she owned the room, hips swinging as she grabbed bandages. Bending low, her dress slipped just enough to show sun-kissed skin. "Shirt off," she ordered, no nonsense. Luke hesitated, but she rolled her eyes. "I've patched up worse." Modesty doesn't stop bleeding. As he stripped, her gaze lingered on his muscled frame, scars from border skirmishes and bar fights. "Quite the collection," she murmured, her touch light but electric as she cleaned the gash. Up close, she smelled of lavender and earth, a mix that stirred something long buried. "Why risk it for me?" he asked. Emily paused. "Got my reasons. The bounty 300's not chump change." She tied the bandage tight. "Dead men can't pay debts." "What kind of debts?" Her eyes locked on his. "The kind needing a steady shooter who don't ask too many questions." Hooves thundered outside Dalton, positioning his crew. Luke had tangled with outlaws, rustlers, and renegades, but this woman was a wildfire in human form. "There's something you ought to know," Emily said, pouring whiskey. "I ain't the fragile widow folks round here peg me for." "What are you, then?" "A traitor." She handed him a glass. "I move goods across the Rio Grandino stamps, no questions. Rifles, mostly." The burn of the liquor paled against the truth. He was caught between Dalton's posse and his smuggler queen. "They'll hit at dusk," she said, sitting close on the cot. "Dalton loves drawing it out, making him squirm." Luke studied her sharp features. "You know him? His kind." She turned, her hand brushing his thigh. "Question is, you want to see Dawn? What's the catch?" Emily's fingers traced his jeans. "One job south of the border. Then we vanished together." Her grin promised trouble. Thunder rolled not from clouds, but riders from the south. Emily peered out. "Comanche. Ride and part ahead in our way." Luke counted 8 warriors, war paint stark, ponies kicking dust. "Partners of yours?" "Supposed to be, but their early something ain't right." With Dalton lurking and Comanche charging, The odds turned lethal. Emily's face paled, but her eyes sparked wildly. "Let's make him regret it," she whispered. The Comanche struck like a twister, fierce and unforgiving. Luke dove as an arrow shattered the window, glass raining like confetti. Emily yanked a shotgun from under the bed, smooth as silk. "Back way," she yelled over the whoops. But a warrior burst through the door, hatchet raised. Luke's revolver bucked, dropping him cold. Emily fired next, another down in the kitchen. Silence fell, prickly and tense. 6 warriors left, plus Dalton's men in the shadows. Survival math looked grim. "They want the rifles," Emily hissed, reloading. Her dress tore at the seam, sweat beading on exposed skin even in chaos. She was stunning. "Where?" "Cellar under the floor. 50 crates enough to start a war." Now Luke got it. Dalton wasn't just avenging kin. He wanted Emily's stash, stamped with Mexican brands. A shadow flitted by the window. Luke waited, then fired. The warrior crumpled, but not before his arrow grazed Luke's arm, fire in his veins. 3 left. Smoke curled in torches lit. "Cellar," Emily urged, yanking a trapdoor. The basement was cavernous, crates stacked high. "Jesus, Emily wants this." "Live in," she snapped. Footsteps overhead, smoke choking. "Tunnel out me," late husband minded before Comanche got him. The passage was tight, Emily ahead, her form outlined in the dim. They surfaced behind boulders, the outpost ablaze, flames clawing the sky. "All gone." Emily breathed, voice cracking. Luke gripped her shoulder. "We're breathing." She whirled, firelight dancing in her eyes, grief mixed with heat. "They ruined me. We'll rebuild." She closed the gap, breath warm. "What do we have left, Luke?" Before he answered, she kissed him urgent, hungry, a storm of need. Her hands fumbled his shirt, his found her curves. Clothes shed like secrets. They merged in the shadows, desperate and raw. 2 souls defying the inferno. After, tangled in the rocks, her hair splayed like gold. "Dalton's still out there." "I know." She traced his scars. "Comanche, too." Luke eyed the ruins. "We end it tonight." Dalton rolled in at first light, 10 strong now, with hired guns from Laredo. They'd hold up overnight, waiting in for survivors. Emily pressed close in their hideout, a makeshift shirt barely covering her. "Can't outrun him." "Won't." Luke had 3 bullets. Emily had a rifle and shells. Not much, but grit counted. Dalton dismounted by the ashes, smug in his black coat. "Harlan, I smell your cowardice." Luke tensed, but Emily held him. "Wait, come out quick, or we start with your blonde tramp." Emily's jaw set. "Nobody talks like that." Dalton motioned, fan outflushing. Emily's smile chilled. "Save this." A dynamite stick from her bundle. "Husband's minin' leftover." "Too risky." "All of it's risky." She kissed him fiercely, then darted off, weaving through rocks. Dalton's men hollered, guns blazing, but she melted into the terrain like a ghost. Luke followed into Viper's Mazia labyrinth of rust-red spires. The pursuit twisted through the formations. Emily lured them deep. Luke picked off trailers. His shot felled one in the dust. Emily's rifle claimed another. 8 left. Dalton barked orders, but the maze fractured their line. Emily perched high, fuse lit. "Dalton, you like fire?" He looked up, face twisting. "You're done, woman." "Yours first." She tossed it, boom. Rocks cascaded, burying 3. Dust choked the air. Luke knifed another in the haze. 5 down. Emily's shot echoed 4. When it cleared, just Luke and Dalton, 20 paces apart. "Always this way," Dalton sneered, hand ready. "Fastest draw wins." "Right off." Dalton laughed. "You killed my kin. Your brother was a thief and murder world's cleaner. Blood's blood." They drew. Dalton's slug hit Luke's leg, gun flying. Dalton advanced, grinning. "Last words." Luke smirked through pain. "Duck." Emily's bullet from above blew Dalton back, lifeless. Silence blanketed the canyon. 3 months on, Luke Harlan stood on an Oregon bluff, Pacific waves pounding below. The scar ached in the mist, but deeper hurts faded. Emily stepped from their cabin, coffee in hand, simple skirt fluttering. No more smuggling, no dodging bullets, just peace. Regrets? She asked, nestling close. Luke pondered, blood trails behind, ocean ahead. None about Dalton, none about you. She smiled truly, shadows gone. Thanks for seeing me beyond the mess. Valley bells chimed, calling to Servitia, sound of hope. We'll last. We already are. A gull soared free, mirroring their redemption salvation in unlikely bonds, choosing life over ghosts. What do you think, was Emily right to drag Luke into her world? Or should he have run solo? Drop your take in the comments, and let's debate. Predator or prey in a lawless land? Share your stance.